Quick, graph y equals the opposite of 2 raised to the quantity of x minus 2 power plus 4 by hand 2 different ways. This is part of the family of functions series. You will need graph paper, or you can download this PDF and print it. Press pause as needed anytime during this video. First, we need to decide what the parent function is and its shape. This parent function is y equals 2 to the x, and this is the shape including an asymptote. I like to call this an easy chair shape. Identify the parameters. Those are the values in the expression that affect the graph. There happens to be 3 in this equation. And how do they affect the graph? Well, the plus 4 shifts up all points 4 units, including the asymptote, which is normally the line y equals 0, but is now shifted up to the line y equals 4. And it also affects the origin. The minus 2 in the exponent shifts each point to the right 2, which also affects the origin. So our new origin, so to speak, will be at the point positive 2, because we're shifting to the right 2, comma, positive 4, because we're shifting up 4. So let's go ahead and plot 2, comma 4. And all points will be plotted relative to this so-called new origin. The negative sign, the opposite sign, take the opposite of each y value. So let's go ahead and begin our 2 to the x dance. Normally it's right 0 up 1 because 2 to the 0 is 1. In this case, it will be right 0 down 1 because we're taking the opposite of each y value. So right 0 down 1. Normally it's right 1 up 2. 2 to the first is 2, but it's going to be right 1 down 2. Again, the opposite of that y value. Right 2 up 4 becomes right 2 down 4, because 2 squared is 4. Left 1 up a half becomes left 1 down a half. Remember, 2 to the negative 1 means the reciprocal of 2, which is a half. And left 2 up a quarter, because 2 to the negative 2 is 1 over 2 squared, which is 1/4, becomes left 2 down a quarter, because of that opposite of each y value. Connect the points and we get that easy chair shape, but it's now been reflected because of the negative sign or the opposite sign. We compare it to that parent function. Using a table, here are 5 points that we normally plot for our y equals 2 to the x parent function. The minus 2 inside the exponent means to add 2 to each x value. So 2 plus 2 is 4. We ask you to go ahead and finish these right here. Add 2 to each of the x coordinates. Press pause and then resume when you're ready. One plus 2 is 3. 2, 1, and 0. Press pause anytime if I'm going too quickly. The opposite sign takes the opposite each of the y values, and the plus 4 also affects the y values by adding 4 to each y value. And remember, by the order of operations, we do the opposite first, and then we add 4. Makes a difference. So we're going to take the opposite of 4 and add 4. Well, the opposite of 4 is negative 4 plus 4 is 0. You can see the calculation right here. And so we plot the point 4, comma 0. Take the opposite of 2, which is negative 2. Add 4, you get positive 2. So plot 3, comma 2. And again, we're going to ask you to pause, finish these 3 points, plot them, finish the graph. Resume when you're ready. Opposite of 1 is negative 1 plus 4 is 3. So we'll plot 2, comma 3. The opposite of a half is negative a half plus 4, which we'll think of as 8 halves. So that would be 7 halves. So over 1 up 3.5. And the opposite of 1/4 plus 4, which we'll think of as 16/4, would be 15/4. So 0, 15/4, which would be our y-intercept. We can go ahead and draw in an asymptote, the horizontal asymptote. Looks like it's going to be leveling off here at y equals 4. So we'll go ahead and draw that in. And then connecting the points, we get our easy chair look, except it's been reflected when we compare it to the parent function. Now you try one. Graph y equals the opposite, or negative 1/2 times 2 raised to the quantity of x plus 3 power minus 1. Use either method or both for the practice. And again, press pause to do this. Resume when you're finished to check your answer. And here's our answer in green, the graph, and also the table. And you can compare it to the parent function in blue.